Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Good morning, Sarah. Thank you for joining us. This is our festive edition of the Family Teams podcast videos. So we're very pleased to have you with us again today. And you're looking rather resplendent there, Sarah.
Yeah, it's a video filter. I have to say, it's not. I'm not really a reindeer.
Oh, that's disappointing. Okay. Well, today we're going to deal with another bit of myth busting in family law. Now, this one is quite a classic and something that perhaps comes as a surprise to a lot of people outside of the law. And it's about the fact that quite often clients think that it will just be us, the professionals, the lawyers, the practitioners looking after them when they come to us for expert advice. Whereas in fact, we couldn't do our job without all of the people behind the scenes and also front of house who support us. So that brings me to the really superb pleasure of introducing our support assistant. She's one of our support assistants, in fact, in the dispute resolution team and within Bennett Griffin as a whole. And that's Rachel Williams-Pope. Welcome, Rachel.
Thank you. Oh, yeah.
Good morning. You're looking great as well, Rachel. Loving the fa la la la.
Exactly. Can't wait to bring this out.
Brilliant, understated as ever. So, so Rachel, you're one of our support assistants, and you make up a team of people who really make our job possible. You facilitate the fact that we can provide a quality service and look after our clients in all respects, along with our reception team, everyone else in the firm, including our colleagues in other departments who we signpost to and work very closely with. I know that also you're a support assistant in the personal injury team as well. Mm-hmm. So you're pretty busy. And yeah, and obviously one of the main skills as an assistant is that you are able to talk to people and look after them and have that skill in terms of relationship building, which is absolutely crucial in family law and also in personal injury and across the board as a lawyer. I think for us also, it's so vital because you deal with not only the administrative side in terms of ensuring that the clients provide the right ID, that we give them the right information, that we deal with all of the necessary things such as money laundering, all of that information that the client must have to know that their case is being looked after fully and that their details are safe and secure and confidential, etc. But you also spend quite a bit of time on the phone with clients as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think it's the case, you know, sometimes it might be on a day that you actually speak to the clients more frequently than we do or have that direct contact for whatever reason, maybe because we're otherwise engaged.
Mm-hmm. No, yeah, exactly. It's nice when you do talk to people because I think it's putting a voice to an email. So yeah, it's more like personal. So they kind of know me and I know more about them and what's going on. So we build like a bit of a rapport. So it's not just you, like it's a team effort. So yeah, no, it's really nice to be able to talk to clients.
Yeah.
Any way I can, even if it's just small, tiny bits, or if there's anything I can't or if it's out of my depth, then I always just refer it on. But it's still nice to be able to talk to somebody and they know there's more people to talk to.
Absolutely. And I think it's a case that they build a relationship with you. They know there's somebody that they can always go to. So even if it is for something, you know, that's mainly administrative or just leaving a message of some sort, it's good to have that point of call as well as knowing us as well. And they also like the fact that we are working as a team. So they know they're fully supported. And as I say, that includes obviously, you know, reception, everyone else who works, you know, with and alongside us. And I think that's probably your experience as well, Sarah.
Yes, yeah, and I think you get the feedback on that from the client's point of view at the end of the matter often. I mean, you'll get comments along the way of, oh, it was great, it was good to speak with Rachel and for them to put a voice to a name. But then if there's thank you cards or things like that, they'll often be addressed to us and Rachel as opposed to just us, because people do recognise the importance of her as being part of the team.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, we're very fortunate and it's great to have that support. I mean, it's good for us as well in terms of our working relationships that we all pull together. There's probably another myth as well, which is quite popular and seems to be supportive for some reason, and I think maybe it's something that you were thinking about before, Sarah, in terms of how people view lawyers generally and how we approach work.
Yeah, I think there's a misconception that lawyers are scary, and there has been recent statistics that show how many people wouldn't seek legal advice because they find that they feel that lawyers aren't approachable. And hopefully through this series, and particularly today, we'll show that that's not the case. But the other thing is that they all think that we want to go to court and it's a big battle and a big fight. And
yes.
And again, that's not particularly with family law. That's not the way that it's approached. We're members of resolution, and the focus of resolution is to resolve matters as amicably and constructively as possible without going to court.
Yes. Absolutely. And I think fundamentally what it's about is knowing people, being approachable, being accessible, and also listening to our clients. We adapt our skills to meet the needs of the client and also the circumstances. So we are robust. We will fight for you when it comes to court proceedings, and otherwise we'll be there for you in terms of representation. And we will be very clear with you in that respect, but we'll also be empathetic and supportive. And that's a really key element of being a lawyer, having that human side, and hopefully as a result of if not just today and seeing us as we are today, hopefully we'll come across as not being too intimidating, and we do pride ourselves on being, you know, down to earth at the end of the day, but having those specialist skills as well.
Yes, yeah, picking our battles,
etc. Exactly. And also it's the case, I mean, I think you mentioned about the fact of not just going to court, and that there is this presumption or this stereotype that lawyers just go to court and it is all very embittered and it's very much competitive, whereas in fact, obviously, you know, I'm a trained collaborative lawyer. We all support, as you said, with resolution, which is really the thumbs up for achieving a conciliatory outcome for family clients. We all support alternative routes, and they're not really alternative routes now. They should be the default route of keeping things as calm as they can be, and looking towards the future for the clients, so that they still have a good level of respect, and feel that they're coming out, you know, the other side with with a fresh start that they wanted.
Yeah.
All right, brilliant. Okay, so what we're going to do in terms of sharing a little bit more about us, whether you like it or not, because this is the Meet the Team episode. We've got a few questions, only 5, which we're going to pose to one another, in the hope that we will reveal things which you just wouldn't have guessed about us. So I think they may come as a bit of a surprise to one another. So I'll start with the first question. You ready?
We are.
Yep.
As you'll ever be. Okay, so question 1 is, so this is to both of you, is what's your most treasured possession? So
Shall I go first? So I thought long and hard about this and went through many options, but actually my most treasured possession is probably not really a possession at all. And I think as I've got older, I've kind of realized that it's the memories and the experiences that are the things you take with you through life. So actually my most treasured possession is probably my memory, and just being able to have all of the wonderful experiences you can have in life and remember them. Yeah.
Yeah, follow that, Rachel.
I know. I would say my most treasured possession is my dog, which is there was no question really. I have a dog called Molly, and she's 2, and I just love her a lot, and I think she's great. So I like everything. So yeah, I think she's my most treasured possession.
Oh, that's lovely. Well, that's now going to make me look bad if I don't say Matilda. Perhaps actually I should be saying my son first of all. So putting family, friends, and furry family to one side, it would be it's something which has been inherited, which has gone through the family, which I will pass on to my son. It's a war penny. So it's a war penny that was given to my great granddad's widow. as a commemorative tribute. It was given to soldiers who fell in the First World War. So that's something which I've kept, which my grandmother gave to me. So yes, and that's just one thing which is obviously very special in terms of family history.
Oh, that's lovely. Right, so number 2 is a little less deep, or maybe it is as deep, I don't know, but your favourite Christmas song? Jackie, okay. Would you like to go first?
Okay. Oh, right. I'm on the spot, first of all. So if I'm being sentimental, I would say Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And that could be either version, Kylie or Eartha Kitt, or any version. That's a really sweet song. I think my favourite version is actually Judy Garland. That always makes me cry. So we won't go there with that, but that's a beautiful song. But if I was to be a bit more upbeat, I would say The Waitresses and Christmas Wrapping. It's a classic from 1981. So if you haven't heard it, go for it. Don't take it too seriously.
Okay, I shall put it on after this video. Rachel?
My favourite Christmas song, well, one of my favourite Christmas songs is probably Driving Home for Christmas.
Oh, that's mine too.
I just really like it. I play it all the time. I have every person that probably sings it on it, and I just love each version.
And it makes me, I'm piggybacking your answer here, Rachel, but it always makes me think, even if I hear it at the end of November, it always makes me think of that last drive home before Christmas Day, and gives you that warm, fluffy feeling.
It's a lovely song.
Yeah.
I feel it's so relatable as well, because when you're driving home and it's like, and you hear the song, it's literally driving home for Christmas. Isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I can't add to that, given that we've got the same one. So, next question, Rachel.
Is it the most? What fact do we not know about you, Sarah?
About me. So again, I had a lot of possible answers for this, but some of them were just simply ridiculous. So I think the one thing that my colleagues don't know about me is that I have an adopted African elephant. Somewhere in Africa.
I was going to say, living with you.
No, our house isn't quite big enough for that. But our wedding anniversary this year, the theme was ivory, and obviously, or traditionally ivory, and obviously we don't want to buy any ivory products. So I now have an African elephant.
Oh,
I'd like to go and visit it.
What's his or her name?
I think it's Albert. So yeah, that's my fact.
Okay, well that's very warm and fluffy, even though elephants aren't fluffy, but that's a lot. Mine is, well, I can say that, you know, it's not widely known that I'm a terrible snowboarder and an awful skier, probably a worse skier, but in fact mine is that I appeared on QVC once.
Wow.
Yeah, by virtue of the fact that my friend actually won a competition, and it meant that we got lots of free jewellery. You can get quite a lot of jewellery for whatever price on QVC. We were in the video, and it was just awful. It was so embarrassing, because I didn't know what.
Is it accessible on YouTube?
It probably is. We're going back at least 15 years now. I don't think it made it into the Hall of Fame, but I remember looking at this, like, there was just an endless table of beautiful items, and which were no doubt depleting some mine somewhere. And I remember saying, "There's so much of it." That's all I could say. I'm not that proud of it, really. But
do you have a recording of it?
I do have a recording of it somewhere. It's been buried, but yeah. So yes, that's my one.
Rachel?
Okay, I did not have any ideas. I was really stuck. A fact you may not know is I've actually swum with sharks. So a long time ago, well, we went away and there was an opportunity, and yeah, so
wow, whereabouts?
It was in Mexico. So yeah, that's my fact I came up with.
Oh,
It's somewhat interesting.
In the sea?
In
the cage?
Yeah, so it was like in the ocean, and it was but there was like a cut up. So it's not effectively a cage, it was in the ocean, but there was like a barrier around it. I think they were like nursing sharks, so nothing.
oh.
So yeah, and you just swam around, and they were like at the top. It was quite. So that's what we did.
That's amazing.
Thank you.
That's a brilliant fact.
Yeah, it's a really good fact. So we're on number 4 now, are we?
We are, yes.
The suspense. This one is, what really gives you a buzz about your job?
Shall I go first?
Do you want to? Yeah.
So I think it's often towards the end of a matter, and it's seeing that journey that people have made from the point that they come in at separation to the point where they can move on with their lives and have in a happier way usually than they were, well, obviously post-separation, but pre-separation when there were difficulties in the relationship. So it's making a real difference to the most important aspect of people's lives, which is their family.
Yeah, I would concur with that completely. And Rachel?
Yeah, I think the same. I think it's really nice to see like some people, like people's journeys, and it's interesting, and it's nice when people have what they wanted, and yeah, it's nice.
Yes.
It's the sort of the positive outcome, isn't it, when people have rebuilt themselves and you see them moving forward into the future. And sometimes people actually, they visibly look younger. They actually look brighter in themselves. They look lighter in terms of how they feel, and that's really rewarding for us.
Yes. Yeah. And finally, tied into work, I suppose, is what would you do if you were not a lawyer? Jackie?
Okay, shall I go first? Okay. Well, obviously I couldn't even contemplate not being a lawyer, but now you've asked the question, I would say I've got probably a list of 3. Having got my only A grade at O level, that gives something away, in art, I would love to have been a professional painter, but that wasn't going to happen. Not that good. Otherwise, I'd quite like to be a social anthropologist, because I studied law with social anthropology, but that would mean going out in the field and being paid to basically just be nosy, because I love people. I like people watching.
Yeah.
So, but my third choice would be being a drummer, because I can't really play instruments that well, but I collect them. And I would like to be able to learn to play an instrument through osmosis. So to add to my collection of instruments that I vaguely play, I'd like a drum kit. Please, Santa.
Rachel?
So I was thinking, so I wanted to be probably a vet. I love the idea of being
Oh, that's a good answer. I should have said that.
But then I was like, could I do it? But I probably would have wanted to do it. Or something like a marine biologist. I was really or it was psychologist. Yeah, something like that. Like, I'm like listening to people, so something along like psychology lines, something like that.
Oh.
Well, your answers are all far more sensible than mine. So I struggled because I would never want to be anything other than a lawyer, of course. But so I did a bit of Googling, and then I thought perhaps it'd be nice to be a food taster or a restaurant critique. Or so I found some jobs I didn't know existed. A panda fluffer in China. Sorry?
I want to change my answer.
Or a chief listening officer, which is a really cool title for the job, but also you spend your day basically on social media checking out reviews of the companies that you work for. So, but actually in the end I decided I would probably want to work with people still and be something like a therapist, or where I'd still feel like I was helping people, because I don't think I'd get much of a buzz sitting on social media all day.
No, that's it. You need that real contact.
Yes, yeah. So in a serious answer, other than a panda fluffer, I would like to be a therapist if I wasn't a lawyer.
I think I need to look up the definition of that role.
Yeah.
It sounds amazing, but it's also raising questions. But
so I think that probably ties up our Meet the Team before it becomes completely raucous. Thank you everyone for joining us, and we hope you have a wonderful Christmas and a very happy 2020.
Yes, thank you, and take good care.
Thank you.
Make it a peaceful one.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, lovely to see you.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Happy Christmas.